Hey everyone, I'm Kim.
And I'm Kat.
And this is Kim and Kat Read a Book. I think that's the best time we've done.
So it was really good. And I love it. I love that we're gonna do this. We don't say it beforehand, we just we're doing it, and then we do. Every time.
Thanks for joining us today. We're excited to bring you 2025, a year in review.
So we started this in June?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've really been doing this video thing for about 6 months, and I've been pretty bad at being consistent, but we do a lot of things outside of the books and the knits that we talk about on the show. And so this is our chance to go over everything we did and then just kind of restart for the next year, for this year that is currently 2026.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about our knitting first, and then we'll talk about some books. Do you want to go first?
Well, I have less than you. So, you do 2, and then I'll do 1, and then you do 2.
Okay. So I just looked, I track all my knits on Ravelry, which if you all don't know, it's just an online social media for knitting, basically, but it's less social media-y and more inventory-y. You can stash your yarn there, you can track your projects, your tools, all that kind of stuff. So I just went and I counted, and I had 20 knits last year, which is actually really good. But to be fair, a lot of them they were all mostly smaller projects. I only had one sweatery. Mm-hmm. No, actually that's not 2. I had 2 sweatery type garments.
Yeah.
Obviously 12 of them were gnomes. Right. So speaking of gnomes, I gathered up. So I only have 9 of the 12 left because I gifted 3. Mm-hmm. But I gathered up all my gnomes from this year.
Yeah, that was a pumpkin one.
Oh, and that's a bonus.
Oh.
I got a
bonus.
See where I left. Oh, here you are. Okay, so this, and then, this is 8. And then this is Nandad that I just finished at the end of December. Look at that mustache. Isn't he cute?
He makes an appearance.
I know, and he's got these little suspenders.
It's so cute.
So this was the mystery gnome for December, and my final gnome of the year. And so I entered all these gnomes into the grand prize. Fingers crossed. When I entered, and I entered on January 1st or January 2nd, I was the 444th person.
That seems lucky. Okay, that seems lucky. It feels like you've got a not a round number, but an even number, and they're all the same, so it's got to be lucky.
Yeah. So anyway, here are all my gnomes. This is they range in size. So this guy was really little. Mm-hmm. And then my biggest one was obviously
the November gnome.
How are you doing on your gnomes? No.
So I got distracted, and these still just the brim of the hat.
Oh, that's okay.
I'll get there eventually.
2025, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was my first gnome. So I kind of in my heart knew that it was gonna get derailed.
Yeah.
Because it's also my first time working with DPNs. So I picked it up pretty quick, but everything felt loose, and so it felt wrong, and so I couldn't really get into it. But if I pick it up again, because I started a different project with DPNs, and I had kind of the same problem, even though it was with thicker yarn. Mm-hmm. So I'm I need to work on my tension or maybe something, but I know that it's there. I know that the will to use DPN is there because I hate a magic circle.
Yeah, magic loop.
Or loop. Magic circle is the
crochet.
Right. Okay.
Before we move on, I just wanted to highlight this is not a gnome, so he didn't count towards my gnomes, but this is little Poppy the penguin. designed by the Gnome lady, and he's just so cute.
He's a cutie.
Yeah. So anyway, that was another
A
one.
gnome in spirit.
Gnome in spirit. I know. I started him, and then I was like, wait, this isn't a gnome, so I had to.
He doesn't have a large nose. This doesn't count.
I know. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, no, you're good. The first thing I made was a period, not just knit, was the Doodle cowl. I think I used Autumn Doodle cowl, whatever, by Pacific Knits, or Pacific Knit Co. And the reason I started with that is because she was doing all the Pacific knit doodles in the world, and I went, I could probably do that. That's probably fine. But it was my first like major knitting project. Like 2025 was the year I decided that I was going to learn how to knit, and I did. I did, but obviously I have tons of issues still, and I just talked about not liking DPNs for like 3 minutes.
A lot of people who knit don't like DPNs.
Really? Okay. I figured, I don't know. It feels
but
like
I think you should give them a chance because I really like them.
You like them? Yeah. Well, I think it's worth it. I don't know. It feels like a hurdle I have to get over in like, I don't know.
It takes practice.
Oh,
like you got to get, I think I first used them for socks, which is probably maybe the best place to learn them or that maybe a coffee cozy or something like that. Because it's kind of standard.
Yeah.
I felt like I had like things pointing out at me all the time, and it was just like I've had like 5 hands, and it was.
I'm just really scared of like falling out, and
that too.
I am able to pick up a stitch, and I have a million hooks, so if I drop something, I'm just all the way back up the ladder. But like, it's scary, and I don't want to make a mistake. But that was the first thing I did, and like I felt powerful. I was like, I know how to do this now. I'm great at color work. I'm great at blah blah blah. And like I wear that thing all the time. I cannot replicate it. I have like something about color work at that scale. I just can't. It doesn't end up looking right. It ends up looking smooshed. And I don't know what I did. Like, I don't know if my tension was super loose the first time and that was the appropriate amount. And now that I've gotten better at knitting, everything's too tight and I can't adjust backwards.
Interesting.
But that's my first knit.
Well, speaking of cowls, this was one of my first knits of the year. This was a present from my husband. Speaking of doodle cowls, I guess, because this is the potato doodle. So you can see like mashed potatoes, hash browns, baked potatoes, fries, and just regular potatoes at the bottom. My husband, he wore this all through London when we were just there for Christmas. And I had my Rhinebeck doodle cowl that I also wore pretty much consistently through London. It's just like a nice... Keep your neck warm. Yeah. Without like the bulk of a scarf.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, I agree. That's kind of why, I get it. Yeah. It's nice. If you made that in the small size, right? Or
it was one size, I think. Is it one size?
Well, there's a narrow and a wide option. I think the narrow one it's like 4 inches thinner.
Okay.
So it just more.
Okay.
Because the next one I make, I'm gonna try to do the narrow version because it droops too much, I think.
Yeah, I actually don't remember what version I made, but this actually was a April Fool's pattern that she released, and people loved it.
I'm waiting for the cheese one. That's what she did last year. She did cheese.
I know, so you can make the cheese one.
But is it real?
Yeah.
I thought it was...
I'm pretty sure it's real.
Okay, well, I will make the cheese one. I like cheese. I like cheese and potatoes. Those are two of my favorite things.
Mark does too. Loves cheese. Good Midwestern boy. Cheese and potatoes. And I suppose if she had a meat cowl, you would throw that one in there.
Yes, too. Yes. There's always this year.
Yeah. So, and then another big color work project I did at the beginning of the year was these Stardew Valley socks. I think this is springtime. Spring.
Yes.
This is one of the hardest things that I have ever knit. And I love color work. I find it super fun, but in a sock, I found particularly up here, you have to get your tension perfect because otherwise you're not going to be able to slip this over your heel. So the number of times I had to rip out particularly these clouds.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 3 times I ripped them out.
Oh, is it because you carry the blue behind the cloud, or?
And the long floats are just like it's easier. Tension is easier and like more squishy here, but the longer floats you have, the less give the fabric has. And anyway, but I'm super pleased with these, and I just pulled them out of the bottom of my knitting bag, and I need to wear them now that it's 80 degrees today.
Is it really?
78, I think.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well I don't check that because I don't want to be disappointed because it is January and it should not be that hot out.
Yeah.
My next thing is a different color work. I was walking around our local yarn thrift shop, Starlandia, and I saw somebody had donated some like thin something yarn, and I was like, I'll do something with this. So I grabbed a red and I grabbed a pink, and I was like, I'll make something for Valentine's Day because it's the middle of January and I have plenty of time. And I made one of the knit gloves by Yarning Design because it was a free pattern, and I was like, cool, I like swords, I like little glove gauntlet things. And then I wanted to tear my hair out because it was a magic circle. And it felt too tight and it felt horrible. Like it felt like it didn't have any give, but it was a really cool design to me. I think it's super cool. And then it came time to start the second one, and I was just like, I don't want to do this. So I made one of them in February, and I made the other one in July. So
at least you finished.
I have them now. I actually finished it for a book at the book club because I was like, I have one sword glove. I need 2 sword gloves to bring to this book about a ship named Sword.
Oh God!
Like that was it. The ship was called the Sword, and I was like, I'm gonna wear gloves that have swords on them, and I have to make them. I like them now. I wear them all the time. They were, they kind of broke in, or whatever you want to call it, from use. And they're kind of sturdy, so I like them a lot. And I forgot to mention it, so I'm going to go 2 in a row because I don't want to forget to mention it again. This shirt that I'm wearing, I also started this in January. I do not remember the yarn. I'm pretty sure I got it at Rhinebeck, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, you totally did.
Okay, I did. So this is yarn that I got.
Yeah.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
Because it's I know it's amazing. It's such great quality. I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember where I got it. I didn't take enough pictures of Rhinebeck, so I can't tell you. But I started this in January, and I finished it over Christmas break. My friend got me this set of interchangeable needles for Christmas.
That's generous.
It's a fantastic gift.
Yeah.
Absolutely floored when he handed it to me. But like, not these. I bought these on my own so I wouldn't rip the field sweater in half. But it was fantastic. So the first thing I did was like, I've got to find something to do with these because that's what you do with a gift. You use it, right? And so I used it to finish up the sleeves, which is the only thing I had left. I'd done everything except the sleeves. But it's called, I do have the name of the design. It's the Tolsta tee.
Okay.
And I'll include the person who made it above my head or whatever. But I was like, I gotta finish it. I gotta, because I can't do that to myself. But
nice. Well, it turned out really nice.
So soft.
It's so soft. Oh gosh, yeah. The yarn that you get at sheep and wool festivals are just, some of it is just so
it's fantastic. I mean, they bring their best stuff. They bring their best stuff.
They do. I actually don't have that much more because I'm not. Well, you got all the gnomes in one go, but I gave a lot away last year. I made a hat. I made another store sample hat.
Oh, that's fair. Oh yeah, the you made the
stocking.
Oh, true. New stocking.
Yeah. So I knit a fair amount that I gave away last year, but then this. Oh, and my other. So I said I had 2 sweater type things. This was one of them, the Ripple Crop Top by Jessie Maed, which you guys have seen before. But I love this. I actually just wore this like 2 or 3 days ago.
Nice.
It's probably my favorite knit of the year. Super, I don't know, just super everyday kind of whatever. It's like nice enough that I can wear it to work. But the other thing that I made was a poncho. And that was...
The entree?
No, that's what I'm working on now. The Farmer's Daughter's Cape.
Oh.
And I gave that away to somebody. And it's basically, it was like all tan, and it's got like 2 strings, ties with like pom-poms at the end and the fringe at the bottom.
Is that the one that everybody was working on this show?
Okay, that was my second. I have one for myself that I made, I guess it was 2024.
Years before,
Yeah, but this one I made for a friend, and so that's my other like sweater type project that I made last year. But I was surprised I didn't have that many like
big
garments.
things.
Yeah.
But well, I think so when I give myself like a limiter, like I must do something in a month, I get so like the gnomes is what I'm thinking of. I get where I'm like, oh, I have to finish this first, and then I can't do anything else for that month. And so like the concept of this is the year I will begin to knit was a lot more helpful to me than what I originally wanted to do, which was the year of socks, which would have been essentially the equivalent of the year of gnomes, and I probably, like I did, not get any socks done.
Yeah.
So like I don't think I can ever really give myself a goal where I have to do something within a month or something, unless I'm counting like, oh, over the summer I'm going to do this because I'll have free time.
It was stressful, not gonna lie. I'm excited to not be having that deadline every month. Fair.
Yeah. The next couple of things, I guess, are my big ticket items because I did all of them over the summer. Well, not true. I did one hat by Pacific Knit Co. that was a she/her hat. She released like a free pattern for Pride Month. It's just the pronouns, and I made it because of that same book with the swords. It's in the same yarn. The premise of it is that the main character is a ship. It's like a personification of a ship in an AI body, and because it's a ship, everybody is she, because ships are she's. And so the protag has to like think constantly about whether or not somebody within their own culture is considered a she or a he or a they or a blah blah blah. And so often when I was reading it, I was like, I don't know who any of these people are, because I can't discern. I'm bad with names, so I use pronouns to determine who's talking and who's having a conversation. But if the protag is calling everybody she, then everybody is she, and it's really hard. So I wore a hat about it. But over the summer I did 2 really big projects. The first one is the Haunted Hilltop Horror House that I've shown before, but it was my favorite project of 2025.
Nice.
And I was sitting down and talking to my friend about favorite things of things in general, and this was like my favorite thing in general. So like books, movies, games, knits, crochets. This was it, because I've been excited to make this for years. Like I saw this years ago and I was like, I'm not gonna get there, I think. And then I made one last year that took 44 days, and I was like, I'm gonna beat that. I'm gonna do better this summer. I'm not gonna waste my summer doing anything else other than this. And I did it in 22 days.
Yes.
So, like, my arms almost fell off, but I did it in less than a month, and it was crazy. And then I followed that up with, at the end of summer, making a sweater, a color work cowl sweater. It was the Artic Starry Night, which was a free pattern on HOBBII. And I did that in a week. And the summer, I get all the energy in summer. I'm able to do whatever I want. But I used Malabrigo, I used two different colors of wool. I had just the right amount of white. I was just a little shy on yellow, and it doesn't look like the pattern, like the colors that they use in the original are not the colors I used, but if the equivalent colors, it's a little off. But I still love it, and I wear it when I get a chance, if it weren't, a sweater in Savannah, Georgia. And that's when I got the idea for hats. Right at the end of summer, one of my friends said, "Oh, we should all get like pins that say like, our trigger topic conversation. It's like, press this or don't ask me about blah, blah, blah. And that will be like our whatever." And I was like, oh my gosh, personalized pins to be everybody's interests. I could do that for Christmas. Like I have plenty of time. And I went, I don't make pins, but I do knit. I knit now. Everybody gets hats. And then for like a week, I was like, okay, let me write down everybody's major interests. We got favorite books, we got favorite music, we got favorite colors. And then I made one, and it was like this. And I was super disappointed. So I was like, all right, let me start over. I can't use all those patterns. Let me figure out what I can do. And then you said duplicate stitch, and Carol was like, duplicate stitch. And I was like, I guess I'm learning something new. And so I made those 10 hats, and they went over great, and it's fantastic, and I already know what I'm doing for next year.
Oh, wow.
It's crochet this time, so I'm a little less, not color work. So it'll be less stressful for that, but it is more, but it's less color work. So,
okay.
And I did a bunch of stuff for work, but I wasn't happy with any of them because, I was happy with them. Like, I didn't give them something I didn't think that that's what they wanted. But I was just like, I'm doing this because somebody asked me to, not necessarily because I wanted to, which is a whole different feeling. Like I'm doing the thing I care about, but also I'm doing it because somebody asked me to, not because I'm intrinsically motivated to do it. Mm-hmm. So like, a couple of ruffle hats, a baby blanket, a couple of beanies, and then at the end of the year, somebody asked me to make F-bombs. So it's a bomb, like your stereotypical black bomb with like the silver top and the string coming out, and then you just put an F on the front of it. So it's an F-bomb.
That's cute.
It was very cute. I've seen them before, but I'd, never made one. But now I've made 2, so I could make them again if I wanted to. Just give everybody one. Oh!
I want one.
Okay,
I'll put it on my desk at work.
It was great. And I think that's it. That's all I got. I can think of. I made the ruffle crop top, which I definitely did write down before you brought it out. It's definitely not at the bottom of the list right now because I forgot completely. I made mine in purple. Ryan yarn. Woo.
That was a popular one.
Yeah, a lot of people made that at the shop.
I was at the shop yesterday, and we were talking about it and how she needs to figure out what her next ripple crop top.
Oh yeah, the next sensation.
Exactly. Cool. Well, we did a lot of good knitting and crocheting this year. How about books? Now, here's where I got you beat. I read more books than you did last year. A lot more.
I read, so according to my Goodreads, and I feel like it's probably more accurate than my memory. I thought I read like 92 books. Turns out I read 85. My goal was 100, so I did not reach my goal. But I read more books than some people read in their entire lives, so I should be happy about it. 'Cause it's good. I want to start with saying I read 7 Stephen King books.
Wow.
I started off the year reading The Stand. That's the first one.
That's huge. That's really thick.
And I will say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them I did through audiobook. So I listen to books on double speed. So it's a lot faster. It wasn't as occupying of my time as it appears to be to have read 85 books. But still, I have a list, and I'm going to put it, if I mention them, I'll put it up there, but I don't want to go through all of them. My favorite book, period, is The Alienist by Caleb Carr. And it's a detective, but a psychological detective story. And I love it. Like, this is one of the books that my mom, when I was a child, was like, oh, I think you'd like this, you should read it. Oh, I think you'd like this, you should read it. And as a child, I'm like, I don't want to do what you say. I don't want to read the books that you want me to read, because you're my mom. Yeah. Turns out she was right. It's a great book. She knows me or whatever.
Darn it.
I know, right? But it's so actually it takes place in New York, and there's a restaurant that they go to frequently called Delmonico's. They go to Delmonico's, and there was a time I was going to go to New York, and I was like looking up. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to go to Delmonico's because it's in the book, because it's in the that store does not exist anymore. They relocated, so I can't eat at the Delmonico's. It's in the book.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to put that on my TBR list.
Yes, it is my favorite book.
Okay.
I guess I read The Stand, and then I read The Long Walk, I read The Stand, The Long Walk, The Shining, which we talked about. I read The Outsider, The Colorado Kid, which is a short story, Finders, Keepers, and End of Watch, because Mr. Mercedes is my favorite Stephen King book, but I had not read the second and third one yet. I read a lot of horror books this year, obviously, I guess, but I read a lot of non-Stephen King horror books. Clearly fantasy and sci-fi, because those are the other two book clubs I'm in. But the first horror book I read this year was The Between by I cannot pronounce it. Tananarive. I feel bad, but I'll put it here, but I can't say it. And Due is their last name, and it was good. I went into it not knowing anything about it because I was just reading it for the book club, that I didn't end up even going to. But I was just like, this is whatever. I'll read it so I could talk about it with people, and it was like, I can't say what I liked about it without giving spoilers, except that it had its moments. My favorite book of the my favorite book of the fantasy was The Spirit That Cuts Through Water, which we talked about in November. But my favorite book of the sci-fi was Perdido Street Station. And it's like 750 pages of world building, character building, really exciting adventure. I'm pretty sure it was a sci-fi one. Not the problem with sci-fi fantasies, they're often very interchangeable. And I want to say that was the sci-fi one because it uses a bunch of made-up sciences, but that might be what makes it fantasy.
Right.
But in our book club Discord, my friend made a tier list of all of the books, and then my other friend made a March Madness style bracket of all the books. And so at the top I have 5 books, but on the bracket or on the tier I have 5 books in the top, but on the bracket I've got 1, and it was Perdido Street Station. So if you're ever down for reading a 700-page book, that's the one I'd recommend. Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Nice.
And then I think I read the Eyre Affair.
Yeah.
But we talked about that. Yeah. Read that, talked about it. For my nonfiction, I read 3 nonfictions this year. I read John Green's tuberculosis.
Oh, I want to read that.
Yeah. which is great. I mean, they're good writers. Both of them are good at creating science content, and like tuberculosis is something he's passionate about, so he's did a great job. And then I read, gosh, I didn't even write it down. That's how much I was like, it's not good. It's a story about the tracking human consciousness through literature and then analyzing. So like it talks about neuroscience, and I'm a fan of neuroscience, like, so, but it talks about it and basically about how it's essentially like a lie, because we can't test so minutely. Like, what we're getting is not, we don't have the machines for it to test accurately, so we're kind of just doing guesswork. And I think that that's really exciting to basically just like, yeah, neuroscience is made up. Like, we've got some evidence, but like we cannot prove why the things are happening, just that they are. Like, we can't find the origin point of things happening. And then I read a memoir, which is The Glass Castle, which I read in high school, but I read it again, and it was even more poignant now that I'm an adult, and being like, she really did have a really bad childhood. That was me. That's all of the important things that I read this last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I also fell short of my goal. I set a goal of 50 books and only read 35. But that's okay.
Lofty dreams.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just go through spurts and I'm like reading a lot, or then the only thing I read. I pretty much read every day, but it's because I read right before I go to bed, and some days I can only read like 5 pages before I fall asleep. So it takes me forever to get through a book. But I think I had 4 5-star. So this is the first year that I tracked my reads on Goodreads, because I used to just write them down in a notebook, but I wanted to have it more official, I guess. And I liked it. I'm going to branch out this year and try Fable and Storygraph.
I've heard of Storygraph, yeah.
And I'm going to maybe track in all 3, which seems like a lot, but just to see whether I like any of the others better. But I think I had 4 5-star reads, and I will say about my star system, I feel like it's a little whatever I'm feeling in the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think I have an inflation problem where I think most of my books that I read are 4 stars.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll put a few at 5 and a few at 3.
Right.
And then I think the only 2-star of last year was the Time Traveler's
Wife.
I
think I gave it I don't think I gave anything a 1. There are a couple of
I
things
didn't give
I should
anything
have given
a 1. But my 4 stars were 5 stars were Wool, which we talked about, The Frozen River, which we talked about. My only nonfiction was The Occasional Human Sacrifice, which is about medical experimentation gone wrong, basically, and all the ways that like abuse of power and stuff happens. And then what was my 4-star? Now I'm not going to remember. 5-star. Anyway. I also wrote, and this was super random, I don't even know where this book came from on my bookshelf, but it was called Blind Fear by Brandon Webb, and it was super like what my friend in high school used to call like a popcorn book, where you just kind of like and not a lot of substance, but I read it really quick and really enjoyed the ride. So in the moment when I was rating it on Goodreads, I was like, yeah, I'll give this 5 stars. Like, I had trouble putting it down, and so definitely like you've got The Frozen River and then you've got this popcorn book, both 5 stars. But
fair. I mean, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it, right? Yeah. For this, I went back through my Goodreads at all my 5 stars and went, this wasn't a 5-star.
Yeah.
And I adjusted it down because I was like, what was I even thinking? Like, I feel like I give it a grade grade, before talking about it with a book club or just in general without talking about it. And then in that meeting, I'm like, oh yeah, actually, you're right. That sucked. Why would I care about that?
I do. Like, sometimes because they want you to rate it, like, right when you finish it. And then sometimes I sit on a book a while, like, and
think about it,
talk about it with people, and then you just kind of, like, readjust how you feel about it. And I'm usually, again, I feel like I'm, like, my first inclination is to rate books higher than I actually felt about them.
Somebody at a book club I went to, I think last week, was talking about their rating system and how they, like, they give a rating, but they don't want to, like, if they don't like a book, they don't rate it because somebody worked hard on that. Like, it was somebody's project for a long time. And I'm like, but, you know, there's enough out there in the world that if something is bad, you should be able to tell them so that they can adjust and not create more bad to put out into the world. But, like, also, I feel like if I worked really hard on something and somebody was like
2 stars,
bad, and then I would be upset. So on a personal level, I get it, but on, like, a societal level, I also get it.
My last read, which I finished on New Year's Eve of the year, was Clown Town by Mick Herron, which is the latest book in the Slow Horses series, which I rated it 4 stars. I thought it wasn't as good as some of the others. It was still, again, an enjoyable read, but it wasn't as good as some of the other ones. I feel like some of the other books have, like, really intricate plots that you don't kind of see the twists coming and that kind of thing. And this one felt more simple, but again, still enjoyable. I still...
not a popcorn read, but still like a formulaic kind of, but subversive maybe, because you don't see the plot twist coming, or
I mean, there just weren't that many plot twists, I guess. Like, I don't know, you kind of, it was his books too. They're often, because the premise of the Slow Horses is they're like crappy MI5 agents. They're often, excuse my language.
I'll bleep you out. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna. That's too much work.
And they're like, you see the horribleness, like they're making bad decisions, and you're like, why would you do that? And then it always ends up in this horrible
isn't that
thing.
Like your thing? You're like, I hate watching people.
No, but it's not like that. It's not like their lives are like falling apart. I can't stand people who like make bad decisions, like continue to drink themselves to death, or like choose drugs over their family or whatever like that. No, this is more just like in the latest season that was on television, this was just a really poignant, they got sent out, and I forget what, London Rules maybe was the book, but they got 2 agents got sent out to like protect this politician. And so they were like tracking him and kind of trying to stay out of his line of sight. And I forget how it happened, but they ended up on some like scaffolding. And the guy was like on the sidewalk having a phone conversation or whatever. And they accidentally hit a paint can up on top of the scaffolding, and it fell and hit the guy, and he died. So that's the type of like what I mean.
Like that's almost slapstick, right?
yeah. I mean, they're funny books.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
But yeah, it's just like, wow, they can't do anything right. They're always messing up. So they're trying really hard to protect this guy, and they end up
killing him by accident. So stupid.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, in the same vein, and this will be the last thing I say, I guess, is that I read 5 of the Will Trent series books last year. And then I get home yesterday and I see that there's a brand new season. So I get to watch that.
I've been wanting to pick those up. I haven't watched it and I haven't read it, but I like Karen Slaughter. So yeah,
they're good. Yeah, I like it. The show, it's fantastic. Good. It deviates from the book a little, so it's still exciting to read it. Like you're not just reading the script, which I feel like they don't do that so much anymore with TV shows to books, but. I don't know. I didn't read any of the Slow Horse books, so
they're pretty close to to the books. I would say, not exact.
Right.
They do adjust some things, but I think overall the plot follows
is fairly the same.
Story.
Okay. Yeah. And I like that too sometimes because just reading the thing that you see, it adds more depth when you're reading. Yeah. When you have to actually look and analyze, like this is what they want me to know about this, not just what I'm seeing with my eyes.
Yeah.
But I mean, we talked about knits. We talked about books.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Hopefully, you've been inspired on one level or another. Maybe next time we'll talk about our goal. I was thinking we would talk about our goals for 2026.
Oh, my bad.
But no, I think we're at our time.
Done a lot. Yeah.
So, maybe at the beginning of our next.
That's what we'll start with.
We can start with our 2026 goals.
Because our next book is Project Hail Mary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I lucked out. I got another book for Knit Group that is also a book for sci-fi, so I don't have to double read again. It was. Honestly, that might have been what slowed me down from reading in October. Was that I had 4 separate books to be reading for book clubs.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even my suggestion again, so I get to get away with murder.
Yes, this one was my pick. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and we, as always, don't forget to like
and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.